Respect is not just a word, it's the soul of every lasting relationship. When we talk about love, we often focus on chemistry, attraction, and romance. But what truly makes a man fall deeply and permanently in love with a woman is respect. It's the quiet power behind every word she says, every boundary she sets, and every choice she makes. When a woman respects herself, she teaches the world, and especially a man, how she deserves to be treated. Men are naturally drawn to strength, not arrogance, but that graceful kind of confidence that says, I know who I am, and I won't settle for less than I deserve. Respect begins with how a woman values her time, her body, her emotions, and her peace. A man may be attracted to beauty, but it's respect that keeps him coming back, that makes him stay, that makes him think, she's the one I don't want to lose. When a woman respects herself, she creates a standard and real men rise to meet it. You see, when a man senses that a woman has self-respect, something changes in him. He starts to act differently. He becomes more careful with his words, more intentional with his actions, and more protective of her energy. That's because respect commands presence. It demands effort. It tells a man, you can't just have me because you want me. You have to earn me because I'm worth it. And that's the kind of message that ignites true admiration. Respect also works as a filter. It separates the ones who come to play from the ones who come to stay. A woman who respects herself doesn't chase validation because she already knows her value. She doesn't need to beg for attention because she attracts attention through her character. She doesn't have to compete with anyone because she knows no one can compete with authenticity. And a real man sees that. He may not always understand it right away, but he feels it. That quiet power, that calm confidence, it lingers. Respect makes love safe. It builds trust. It gives both people the space to be honest and real without fear of being taken for granted. When a man feels that a woman respects herself, he automatically respects her too. He wants to protect that energy, not break it. He wants to be a man worthy of it. And that's the kind of connection that doesn't fade when looks change, or when time passes it grows deeper because it's rooted in truth. So when we say respect is the foundation, it means that everything else, attraction, love, passion, loyalty, stands on top of it. Without respect, even the most intense love will eventually crumble. But with respect, even simple moments become meaningful. It's what keeps a man falling, not for a fantasy, but for the real woman who knows her worth and lives by it every single day. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks that only open for the right person. When a woman sets boundaries, she is not pushing people away, she is defining her worth. Boundaries are the lines that say, this is how I deserve to be treated, and this is what I will not accept. They are powerful because they turn love into something meaningful, something that must be earned, not simply taken. When a man meets a woman who has clear boundaries, he immediately understands that she values herself, her time, and her peace. And that value makes him see her differently, not as an option, but as a prize. Men may not always admit it, but they respect what they have to work for. When a woman makes it easy for everyone to cross her lines, she sends the message that her love is available to anyone who asks. But when she holds her ground, when she says no, to disrespect, inconsistency, or half-hearted effort, that's when a man realizes she's not like everyone else. He starts to understand that to be in her life, he must show up as his best self. Boundaries create value because they turn love into something intentional, something that requires effort, consistency, and commitment. When a woman says, I won't settle for less than honesty, she's not being difficult, she's being wise. When she refuses to accept late, night texts, empty promises, or broken respect, she's not being cold, she's showing strength. Every boundary she sets reminds a man that her love is not cheap, and in return, the right man feels inspired to match her standard. He realizes that her respect for herself is not a challenge to him, but an invitation to rise. A boundary doesn't scare away a real man, it attracts him, because he knows that if a woman respects herself that deeply, she will also respect him when he earns her heart. Boundaries also protect love from chaos. They create balance and structure in a relationship. Without them, emotions can run wild and expectations can get lost. But when both people know where the lines are, there's clarity, trust, and peace. A man feels secure knowing that the woman he loves won't tolerate disrespect, not even from him. That kind of standard makes him want to be better, to treat her with more care, to love her more intentionally. It's not about control, it's about value. When a woman sets boundaries, she's teaching others how to treat her, but she's also reminding herself that she deserves real love, not temporary attention. Boundaries don't make love harder. They make love stronger. Because love without respect will fade, but love built on value will last. And the man who understands her boundaries will not only fall in love, he'll stay in love, because he knows he found something rare, something real, something worth protecting for life. There is something deeply magnetic about emotional mystery. It's not about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about maintaining a sense of depth, self-control, and quiet confidence that keeps a man intrigued. When a woman doesn't reveal everything about herself too soon, she creates space for curiosity. She lets a man wonder, who is she really? That curiosity is powerful because it draws him in not through physical attraction alone, but through emotional fascination. Emotional mystery is what keeps a man thinking about her long after she leaves the room. You see, in today's world, everything moves too fast. People give too much of themselves before trust is even built. But when a woman chooses to hold a part of her heart back until she truly knows a man's intentions, she shows wisdom. She's saying, my emotions are valuable, not everyone gets access to them. And that restraint, that calm control, becomes a kind of elegance that captures a man's respect. It tells him she's not desperate for connection, she's selective. And that makes her unforgettable. A woman who understands emotional mystery doesn't rush to explain herself, doesn't overshare every thought, and doesn't let emotions run wild in every situation. Instead, she moves with grace. She listens more than she speaks. She reveals her story slowly, like chapters in a great book that a man can't stop reading, and the more he learns, the more he wants to know. That's the power of mystery. It keeps love alive. It keeps passion burning. It keeps him engaged emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Men fall in love through discovery. They love the process of learning who a woman truly is. When everything is given at once, that process ends too quickly. But when there's depth layers of emotion, strength, humor, and purpose, a man realizes he'll never finish exploring her. He'll always find something new to admire, something new to understand. That's when love becomes lifelong, because it's built not on surface attraction, but on endless fascination. Emotional mystery also protects a woman's peace. It reminds her not to pour her soul into someone who hasn't earned that right. It helps her stay centered even when emotions are high. It gives her the power to respond instead of react, to stay grounded even when love feels uncertain, and a man respects that calm strength. It shows maturity, control, and self-respect, all qualities that make him fall harder, because he knows she's not ruled by emotion, she's guided by wisdom. So emotional mystery isn't about hiding who you are, it's about honoring who you are. It's about understanding that your emotions are treasures, not tools for attention. It's knowing that the right man will take the time to earn your truth. And when he finally does, he'll fall in love not just with your heart, but with the journey it took to reach it, a journey that never stops unfolding. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces in love. It's not the grand gestures, the big promises, or the perfect words that make a man fall and stay in love. It's the steady rhythm of truth, action, and character. When a woman is consistent in who she is, how she loves, and what she stands for, she becomes a foundation in a man's life. Her consistency becomes a reflection of her integrity, and integrity is something every real man deeply respects. A woman who is consistent doesn't change her standards depending on who she's with. She doesn't act one way to impress and another to keep someone's attention. She remains the same person in public and in private. That kind of stability builds trust. It tells a man, "You can count on me to be real," and trust is the soil where love grows. When a man knows that a woman means what she says and says what she means, he can finally relax and give his heart freely. Because real love doesn't grow in confusion, it grows in clarity. Consistency also reveals emotional maturity. It shows that a woman is not controlled by temporary feelings or outside opinions. She doesn't let mood swings decide how she treats people. She understands that love isn't about perfection, it's about reliability. When a man sees that, he feels safe. He knows that even when times get tough, she won't turn cold or distant just because things aren't perfect. That emotional steadiness is rare, and it's something a man values deeply once he experiences it. Consistency builds attraction because it creates a sense of reliability that every heart craves. In a world full of mixed signals and broken promises, someone who stays true to their word shines brighter than anyone else. It's easy to be sweet in the beginning, but it's powerful to be genuine through the ups and downs. When a woman consistently shows respect, kindness, and self-control, she proves her love is not a performance, it's part of her nature. And that's what makes a man fall, not just for how she looks or talks, but for who she is. It's also important to understand that consistency doesn't mean being predictable or boring. It means being dependable while still growing, learning, and improving. A consistent woman keeps evolving, but she never loses her core values. She's flexible, but never fake. She can adapt, but never compromise her respect. That balance makes her energy magnetic. A man sees her as someone he can build a life with, someone steady enough to trust, but strong enough to challenge him to grow. Over time, consistency becomes the heartbeat of love. It's what transforms attraction into attachment, and attachment into loyalty. It's what makes a man feel like he's found a woman he can believe in, not just today, but for a lifetime. Because when love is built on consistency, it stops being a temporary emotion, it becomes a lasting bond that no storm can shake. Love isn't meant to be effortless. Real love grows through challenge, through the moments that test patience, character, and commitment. The truth is, when everything comes too easy, people don't value it the same way. What makes love meaningful is the growth it demands. When a woman holds firm to her standards, when she doesn't bend just to please or compromise herself, worth to keep someone, she creates a healthy challenge that inspires a man to rise. That challenge doesn't push him away, it pulls him closer because it makes him feel that loving her is something worth working for. A man falls in love with a woman who challenges him to be better, not through criticism or control, but through example. When he sees her discipline, her confidence, and her consistency, he feels motivated to meet her level. That's how mutual respect is born, not by pleasing each other all the time, but by pushing each other to grow. Challenge forces both people to evolve, and evolution is the foundation of lasting connection. When love never faces struggle, it remains shallow, but when it overcomes obstacles, it becomes unbreakable. Every strong relationship goes through seasons of testing times when patience runs thin, when pride gets in the way, when misunderstanding creates distance. But those moments reveal what kind of love it truly is. The love that survives challenge becomes deeper, wiser, and more secure. It teaches two people that commitment isn't about convenience. It's about choosing each other even when things aren't easy. That's the kind of love that lasts, the kind that doesn't fade with time or distance. A woman who challenges a man in the right way helps him grow without forcing him. She sets boundaries not to control him, but to protect her peace and his respect for her. She expects effort, honesty, and presence. She doesn't demand perfection, but she does expect growth. And when a man sees that she's not asking for more than she gives, he understands that the challenge she brings is fair. It's about balance. It's about building something real. Challenges also make love exciting. They keep both people invested, learning, and discovering new sides of themselves. A love that never gets tested, never matures. But when two people go through the fire together, when they argue, forgive, rebuild, and come back stronger, that's when they realize what they have is rare. It's not fragile, it's forged. A man who experiences that kind of love never forgets it because it made him stronger, wiser, and more grateful. So love grows through challenge because challenge reveals truth. It separates the temporary from the timeless. It shows whether someone is with you for comfort or for connection. And when a man and woman both embrace the challenges of love with patience and respect, they don't just fall for each other, they grow into each other. That's the kind of love that lasts forever.